Good morning, welcome back to the channel. I've given myself the day off and decided to head off on an adventure to somewhere I've been wanting to go for quite a long time, which is the Imperial War Museum at Duxford. I'm sure I went there as a kid, but not for absolutely ages. It's pretty far away, it's just south of Cambridge, which for me is going to be about 3 hours ride. But I've got all day and I'm excited to have you with me. It's a beautiful morning, the sun's shining through the trees. There's a little bit of a chill in the air though. It's feeling like summer is coming to an end. It has been an amazing summer. The France trip was fantastic. That feels like a long time ago now. Thank you to everyone who watched all those videos and subscribed. I hope to keep you entertained for a few minutes every week. I'll tell you what, this much traffic at 7:50 in the morning seems a bit much. Hey, welcome to Meriden, a place which claims to be the centre of the United Kingdom, or of England, as far away as you can get from the sea. We're passing Nuneaton now, and it's pretty cold. Thank you very much. Tell you what, it is cold enough. It's time for trousers. Here's my tip: a pair of waterproof trousers, even if it's not raining, will keep your legs warm, keep the wind off, with the added advantage that you look great. We've done, you're joking, 20 miles already. 2 hours and 4 minutes left, according to Google. I don't know what your thoughts are on riding through winter. I find I can ride pretty much all year round. I don't choose to ride any lower than like 5 degrees C or something because of the risk of ice. In the winter I find it's the hands that let me down first. They've got those big thick gloves, but even with them on after 45 minutes it's just too cold. I could get heated grips. I haven't yet invested in those. We're heading towards Market Harbour now, with about an hour and a half to go. Who would ride on motorways when you got roads like this, even if it does take you twice as long? I passed a cyclist there and I went for my stupid bell, but it's gone. I can't remember why I took it off. Oh, brake fluid, that's why. Look at this! Now that is pinned, and we're at 55. Oh, what fun! Who would want a motorway? Entering a little village now called South Kilworth. The lights are flashing, so it's 20 miles an hour, even though I don't think school is on. What a charming place, hey? Imagine being a primary school teacher in here. Look at these thatched roofs and old cottages. Good morning, sir. Every now and then I stop for a moment and there's some old boy who's walking along or sat down and says hello and wants to ask about the bike and what kind of bike is it. Ooh, and tells me he used to ride one like that in his day, and I think that's lovely. I imagine the chap's not riding anymore and just wants to reminisce a bit, so I like talking to them. I imagine I will be exactly the same. Whee! Some bad tarmac around here. You don't notice so much in a car, but when you've only got little wheels and only two of them, it makes a difference. Whew, we are definitely in farming country. What kind of a place is Husbands Bosworth? Getting on the A14, which will be a lot less fun. On here for 42 miles to junction 23. Okay, the A14 was just a bit boring and fast. I'm in the countryside now. Some lovely landscape. And there's 12 minutes to go. It's funny, I've been riding for 3 hours, just a couple of little breaks. You really don't notice the time as much as when you're in a car. In a car, you're just riding an armchair. you're riding a living room, and you can get bored. On a bike, you really can't get bored. That's it. Yeah, look at this. Here we are. We've got to go around the roundabout first. That looks like a Hurricane. Where are these guys off to? If you've ever seen the movie Top Gun, you know where he's riding on the motorbike next to the airfield as the planes take off. That's very much what I was imagining here as I arrive. I'm sure if you were riding next to me, that's exactly what it would look like. Way to go, people. Look at the motorbike parking. That's great. Exactly what you want. Okay, through the gift shop, and we come straight outside. I don't know if it's a special occasion, if they're going to fly planes today or if they often do. Let's have a look up close. Well, obviously I'm excited. I've got to remember this is a motorbike channel, not a aeroplane channel, but I imagine there's quite a bit of audience overlap. Right, I'm starting in a hangar called Airspace. This place is enormous. Look at the size of the hangar I'm in. The only thing in this particular hangar is a Handley Page Victor. It's one of 3 V bombers, the Victor, the Valiant and the Vulcan, which were the planes that carried our nuclear weapons until they all ended up on submarines as they are now. There's a few I already know. The Harrier jump jet up there, it's always been one of my favourites. Very innovative British plane that could take off or land vertically. And here's the Pegasus engine, which has thrust nozzles that can be directed downwards or backwards. Gosh, here it is, the Avro Vulcan B2. It's probably the most prized aircraft in this collection. I think there's only one left in the world that flies and one that can taxi up and down a runway for people to look at. It's a huge aircraft with a V-shaped wing. Up this close you can't even see the whole thing at once. But this is awesome to get this close. You can walk underneath, see the hatch that the crew enter through. So, I'm going on a Concorde. I'm never going to fly on a Concorde, neither is anybody else if you haven't already. But you can go on one here at Duxford. Ooh. Ooh. That's the black box. Okay, this is obviously a, a test vehicle or development vehicle or something, because there's no passenger seats. But you can see anyway that the cabin is narrower than you're used to on a passenger airliner, because the Concorde's quite narrow. Here's a nice view of the Vulcan. Flight Test Observer Station, monitoring the aircraft's performance. Here's your oxygen supply. Radiation detector. Escape hatch. And here's the cockpit. Wow, that was amazing. Look at the view from up here. Here's the Lancaster. Wow. You don't have to know much about planes to know how important the Lancaster bomber was to World War II. Underneath the Concorde here, you can see the air intakes for the massive engines. I should say, for those of you who don't know, I've got a few younger viewers, the Concorde was a supersonic airliner, so it can fly faster than the speed of sound. It's extremely expensive to ride on, an amazing piece of technology, and in the end it was just too expensive. People didn't want to pay thousands of pounds for a standard ticket to cross the Atlantic, and it was troubled in its last years with some rather nasty technical problems. I'm not going to try and talk about every aircraft. There's an excellent video you can watch if you want that kind of thing. But I have to mention the Lancaster. It's powered by 4 Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, which are the same ones used on the Spitfire, which was rather clever because it helped with maintenance and spare parts. Hugely successful bomber that helped Britain win the Second World War. There's just so much to see here. Look at the information board where you can identify which plane is which. We recognise this one from a previous trip. This is a Westland Wessex, which was stationed on board the HMS Ark Royal. One more I have to tell you about in here is the English Electric Lightning, the only all-British designed and made supersonic fighter. This thing was so powerful it could climb pretty much straight up like a rocket. It's an interceptor, so it's designed to catch and shoot down bombers before they can reach us. Wow, that was very special. That was a Spitfire and a Hurricane flying in formation, not just in formation, doing loops and swoops and curves over the airfield here. Incredible. If you need to know the name of a plane, you just hang around and you'll hear some bloke telling someone else what it is, but I didn't need any help with that one. This is an exciting place. There's loads going on. I am on my way now into Hangar 2, the flying aircraft. Right, this is my place. This is where the privately owned planes that still fly are worked on and maintained. Here's the cockpit of a Bristol Blenheim. So here is the Westland Sea King, mostly known for search and rescue, but this one was used as an anti-submarine attack helicopter. Look at this strange little thing. It's a Briton-Norman trilander, an island hopper, linking the world's smallest communities. Places like Guernsey and Jersey and Southampton. Extra engine up on the tail there. Just enough room for 2 people side by side. This is a Harvard. You can go in one if you buy a ticket. Now the Spitfire was more famous, but there were a lot more Hurricanes that flew a lot more missions. There's not an awful lot in that cockpit. This is an RAF Tornado, only recently retired in 2019. It's a pretty fearsome looking machine, isn't it?
Hello, Hucknall. George Sector receiving. Understood. Thank you. Sir Bentley have ordered the wing to patrol Hornchurch. The large raid is reported to be approaching the coast between Dungeness and Dover, and the Eleventh Group are throwing everything they have in it.
Right, ladies. Start getting the box ready in case they head our way. Ops, how many aircraft are available?
49 available, sir. 11 damaged in the earlier raid.
I'm not sure what it is about this era and World War II in particular that I find so interesting. With the way society looks at the moment, it's interesting, it's appealing to think of the war as a time when all Britain came together against a common enemy. And I know that's not entirely the case. There were difficult people at the time, people who took advantage of ration books and saboteurs and sympathisers and whatnot. We weren't exactly a united country, but it's appealing to at least think we were able to come together. And as for the aircraft, I'm interested in technology that's on the edge of what you can understand. You know, really modern stuff is all GPS and encryption and algorithms and fly-by-wire, and that's all fascinating. But a cockpit with mechanical linkages to the control surfaces and a piston engine that you think you could work on yourself, there's something interesting about the edge of technology that you could just about understand. And there's a lot of it to see here. The Battle of Britain display was very interesting, and I think the last big hangar to see now is the American Museum with all the American aircraft. On my way there now. The B-52 Stratofortress dominating this hangar is a huge high-level bomber. There's some amazing aircraft here, famous, the U-2 spy plane up on the ceiling there. Aptly enough, it's the highest in the hangar. I don't know what its maximum altitude is, it may well be classified, but the pilot pretty much wears a spacesuit. And in the middle there, in front of it, is the F-15, which I think is pretty much Top Gun. And over here, hanging from the ceiling, we have a Predator drone and an SR-71 Blackbird. The A-10 Warthog is an air-to-ground attack aircraft with a big gun on the front. So powerful, fires so much ammunition into the air at once that it actually slows the plane down as it dives towards the tank. Right, finally we found a motorcycle, but it looks like this one was seized from terrorists in Mali.
For 24 days now.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow, okay, so, you know, it's not the best story. I'll try and find another one. Seeing the exhibit on land warfare, to be honest, I think I'm pretty sure I'd rather be flying planes. It has been a fascinating trip to the Imperial War Museum here at Duxford. I'm going to have another quick look around and then make my way slowly back home at my own speed. So thank you for coming with me, and I will see you on the next video.